Hello again. I'm going to do another response video tonight. I'm starting to like these pretty much just as much as I enjoy doing the That's in the Bible series, so you can expect to see plenty more of these. Today, I'm going to be responding to Campbell in one of his latest offerings. So let's get started.
We were made to be courageous. We were made to lead the way. We could be the generation that finally breaks the chains. We were made to be courageous.
Well. How are my wonderful, beautiful Christians?
Probably scared as hell after that little thing.
I love you guys. Atheists, I love you guys too.
You really mean it?
Don't ever think I don't. You know, this is no laughing matter, what you guys are doing, right? It's not even explainable, to be honest with you, what you're doing.
Well, it's quite easy to explain, actually. Where I live, the United States, the majority of the citizens are people like you, Christians. And because of that, they are imposing their religious beliefs on the rest of the country. Slightly under half of the country do not identify as Christians, or at least the Protestant Christians. The rest of them are Jews, Muslims, any mixture of other religious groups, including the nuns, of which I am a part. And what we are doing as YouTube atheists is voicing our dissent, which is our right. So there's your explanation.
Somehow, in your life, you made a very bad decision.
Most people have made lots of bad decisions. What was that one line from that book you were bitch-slapping in the opening? Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Somewhere in your life, you took a very bad turn.
You love us, huh?
You see, one day you were kicking the ball around the backyard, playing catch with your dad, playing videos with your friends, talking to your girlfriend on the phone, living your life. And now you find yourself on the side that is trying to get rid of God.
First of all, you are addressing an audience that, as I'm sure you are well aware, is not purely made up of men. Second of all, you seem to be painting this picture of a happy childhood from an unbroken home, which not everyone has the luxury of having. And religious people certainly are not immune from having a broken home. Now, I consider myself lucky. I didn't come from a broken home. In fact, despite my theological disagreements with my parents, we still get along just fine. So are you implying here, Mr. Campbell, that only atheists come from broken homes? Are you implying that Christians always have happy childhoods? Both of these statements are massive falsehoods, and it's rather judgmental of you to say otherwise.
How did this happen to you? Have you ever asked yourself how you became that person? How this happened to you?
We are the sum of our decisions, of our choices. Every experience we have adds to who we as human beings are. This includes you. This includes me. So, say something did happen to cause someone's atheism, someone's lack of belief in God. What kind of thing could possibly cause that? That seems to be what you're driving at. You seem to be assuming that something horrible must have happened to cause atheism in all of the people you're addressing right now. Now, what caused my atheism was the fact that I actually find value in evidence-based living. Some other people, they don't believe in God for other reasons. Maybe they weren't raised in a religious household. Maybe they weren't indoctrinated into some kind of religious belief. But for you to claim that the only possible explanation of atheism would be some horrible event, not very Christian of you.
You are a happy-go-lucky kid. You are having fun.
You have no way of knowing how happy anyone in your audience was as a child. See, that's the problem with living your life, thinking you have the answer to everything. It makes you so fucking arrogant that you think you know exactly what's going on in everyone else's life, in everyone else's mind. I thought people like you were supposed to be humble.
You are hanging out with your buddies. You are crushing on girls. You were excited about the new video game. You are watching movies with your family.
Here's another thing I'm noticing. You're assuming that the people you were talking to are, first of all, not only male, but second of all, attracted to women. So are you implying that it is a denial of God that causes homosexuality as well? I mean, because if you are, that betrays a vast ignorance of biology. But that shouldn't really come as a surprise to me now, should it?
And now all of a sudden, you're on the team trying to get rid of God.
The team that's on the side of trying to get rid of God. Is that like Team Edward or Team Jacob?
This happened to you. This has happened to you. You are now on the side that is trying to get rid of God.
We aren't trying to get rid of God. We're not. No matter what straw man argument you want to present as what you think our goal is. We're not trying to get rid of God. We're not trying to get rid of belief in God. What we're trying to do is get rid of the influence that belief has on people who don't share it. Your belief in God should have as much effect on me as your star sign. I don't care if you're Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, Christian, or Capricorn. It shouldn't affect my life.
Those are serious people, eh? You know, your idea of getting rid of God is that God doesn't exist and Satan doesn't exist and it's all a big fairy tale and for you it's, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to hurt you. It's actually going to better humanity. But there is a much deeper movement way back behind the atheists who are up front denying God and mocking God and making fun of Christians. There are groups way back behind you that would love to get rid of Christianity and Jesus Christ and God. There's Muslims, you've seen them in action. There's Hindus and Buddhists.
You do realize that you're saying that atheists and Muslims are on the same side here? That the main goal of atheism is to get rid of Christianity. It isn't. We don't believe in any God. So the Muslims hate us just about as much as you do. And make no mistake, you hate us. You dress it up like it's love. But it's not love. You think that we deserve to burn in hell for all eternity. And you worship the guy who's going to do it to us. That's hatred right there.
There's other religious factors. There's agnostics. There's There's also another group out there that deny not the existence of God, but the power of God, and that would love nothing more than to have God gone, or at least the biblical version of God, the Creator.
Now, this is where I stopped watching the video when I first put it up on YouTube, because I wanted to preserve the surprise for myself. I wanted my reaction to this next bit of information to be really genuine. I've got some ideas who you're going to talk about here, and I really hope I'm right. Let's see.
And that group is called Satanists.
Didn't see that coming. I thought it would be the Illuminati, since you like to talk about them so much in some of your other videos. Satanists? Really? First of all, you think that Satanists go back further than atheism? Atheists have existed since the concept of God has existed. There's always been at least someone who didn't buy into that concept. The concept of Satan didn't exist until the Abrahamic religions existed. So, the worship of that being couldn't have existed until after the Abrahamic religions existed. So, once again, you're completely wrong.
And I know you've heard of them. And I know you probably think, yeah, they're a bunch of idiots too, because Satan doesn't exist. It doesn't matter that you don't believe Satan exists.
Actually, a lot of Satanists don't believe that Satan exists. They view Satan as an embodiment, a symbol, if you will, of self-centeredness, looking out for number one, enjoying the vices that life has to offer. Most of them don't actually believe in the literal being of Satan.
Because they do believe he does. And they have a lot of reason to believe he exists. A lot more reason to believe he exists than you have to believe he doesn't. Believe that.
Disregarding the fact that most Satanists, as I already pointed out, don't believe that Satan is a real being. What possible reason could you or they have to believe he exists that is based in any kind of physical, provable, empirical data? Present it.
They have more reason to believe Satan exists than you have to believe he doesn't. But put that aside. Satanists want Christianity gone. Satanists can't stand Christians. Does that sound familiar to you? Does that resonate with you? Does that make you feel a part of something?
Guilt by association? You're implying that we're doing Satan's bidding because we happen to agree with Satanists on a certain point. The KKK protested against Westboro Baptist Church, and I dislike Westboro Baptist Church. Does that mean I'm a member of the KKK?
When you stand before the Creator, you're not going to have a defense.
Whose Creator? Which one? You're going to say it's Yahweh. The Muslim's going to say that it's Allah. The Jews are also going to say that it's Yahweh, but Jesus isn't going to be there. Which religion has it right? Show me some kind of proof that it's yours. You don't have any.
When your life is flashed before you, and you're busy gnashing your teeth, screaming and pleading forgiveness, while stuttering and wailing like a wounded animal.
See, that's the kind of thing I was talking about earlier, when I said that you hate us. Because here's the thing, I don't get off in my pantaloons thinking about you being tortured for all of eternity. You obviously seem to enjoy the thought of people like me being burned and gnashing our teeth. If you didn't enjoy it, why the fuck would you use such graphic details in your descriptions? You relish the idea. You can't wait for that "I told you so" moment. And knowing you, from your videos, you would be the kind of asshole to look down from heaven while people are burning and screaming and gnashing their teeth, and just rub a little bit of salt in their charred wound and say, "I told you so."
There will be no defense for you. You, by your own actions, have gotten rid of any defense you may have.
No, it wasn't by my own actions. It was by my own beliefs. My actions, on the other hand, pretty good, I'd say. I've lived a relatively good life. I've made a few mistakes now and then. Who hasn't? But I donate to charity when I can. I've volunteered my time for worthwhile causes. I don't go around robbing, stealing, killing. I pretty much, other than the first 3 or 4, I follow the 10 Commandments that you hold in such high regard. Either I believe something or I don't. Either it makes sense to me or it doesn't. I do not have control over that any more than you do. All I have is education. I have the ability to take in new information, and if it makes more sense than the information I previously had, I replace it. You're asking me to suspend that ability. You're asking me to believe what you say and then stop taking in new information. You want me to be an intellectual slave. And that, sir, is unconscionable.
It doesn't matter that you believe God exists. It doesn't matter that you believe Satan exists. There are those that do believe. And they're not believing simply because they're gullible.
The definition of gullible is believing something without good reason to. The definition of faith is believing something for which there is no evidence. Seem pretty similar to me.
They're believing because they have their personal relationships, knowing what they know.
As Aaron Ra put it, if you can't show it, you don't know it. Show me that Satan exists. Show me that God exists. Until you can, you don't know. Plain and simple. You think these entities exist. And until you can prove it, I'm perfectly justified in assuming that your personal relationship is with your subconscious.
And you can laugh at that. To you, that's a laughing matter. To you, getting rid of God is a laughing matter. But has it ever dawned on you that that laughing is going to end? Has it ever dawned on you that being on the side that is getting rid of God, or at least attempting to do it, is not going to always be a laughing matter?
Quick question. You say that we're trying to get rid of God. You also say that God's all-powerful. Why doesn't he just stop us?
The decision you've made is extremely serious.
I know it's extremely serious. I know it's serious because of the news story that released about the parents who let their child die because they believed in faith healing. And this was the second time in only a few years that it happened to this couple. I know it's serious because of the infants that are getting STDs because of the traditional method of circumcision that many fundamentalist Jewish sects still perform. I know it's serious because there's a little girl named Malala Yousafzai who is lucky to be alive, let alone capable of continuing her education. And it was religious fundamentalists that nearly put a stop to that. So yeah, I know my decision to do what I'm doing is serious. Do you realize just how harmful your decision is?
This isn't just something fun to do on the internet. This isn't just something to pass the time because you found boredom in your life. This is all by the will of God. This is all supposed to happen.
If it's all by the will of God, then that means I was destined to do this. That means I was destined to not believe. That means I was destined, before I was born, to go to hell. And you think that's a good system.
Ask yourself why you're on that side. Ask yourself how you, that energetic, fun-loving, joking, lovable child, at one point in your life, has now become this, the mocking, hateful, belittling person trying to get rid of God. How'd you become that? And how did you end up on that side?
You said it yourself.
This is all by the will of God. This is all supposed to happen. Because you're on that side. There's a lot of people on that side.
And our numbers are growing every day.
And they're under different tags on that side. They're not all atheists. They're other religious groups.
For the last time, religious groups are not trying to get rid of God. Religious groups are trying to impose their God, which is exactly what you're doing. You are no different from a Muslim fundamentalist. Notice I didn't say extremist. An extremist is the one that's going to blow up the building. The fundamentalist is the one that's going to try and impose their belief system on the other people without killing them.
Satanism is one of those groups. Nobody wants to get rid of Christians more than Satanists. As much as atheists think they're the ones that are going to do it. Atheists want it more than you do. And they're willing to let you do it for them. Think about what I'm saying to you. And know that this isn't a laughing matter.
Does it look like I'm laughing? I can think of very few things more serious than the kind of damage you and people like you inflict on society. If it were up to you, we'd still be living in caves, thinking that epilepsy was caused by demonic possession.
Know that the laughing does end. And it doesn't end good for you. It doesn't end good for those trying to disrespect the Creator while breathing the air He created for you to breathe. Think about that.
Don't guilt trip me. If the Creator that you worship is real, He's got a lot more to answer to than Hitler. A lot more slaughter. A lot more blood on His hands. So don't try and guilt me into loving that.
You have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You're all evil. You're gonna burn forever in hell. You're gonna gnash your teeth. The laughing is gonna stop. You're all sick, damaged people. Have a nice day. I love you.